the show. Kind of. It's 12:11. Talking about the World Cup and what we saw yesterday from England and Argentina. And I return to my comment to begin the show. What are you doing, Jude Bellingham?
Yeah.
Don't get Lionel Messi mad, because it did not work out well.
It did not work out well, but more specifically, do not anger the God that you have been praying to this entire time. Kelly, please.
I'm wearing the same sweater. It's gonna look like a jump cut.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with Elfie for the first time.
Uh-oh.
And I think England's gonna take it.
Ooh, we got to split.
Hungrier. I think they're hungrier than Argentina is.
Are they? How did that work out? How did that work out? You have been trying to get Elfie on this show so often for the last month. And essentially at the finish line, you're like, no, I'll go against Elfie this time.
I don't like that dog either.
I don't like that dog either.
God, he said it so well.
Since you brought it up, she obviously went 2 for 2 in the semifinals. And
what
now
does your
has,
Google Doc look like now?
It's pretty. It's so colorful. So far, 23 of 30 for a 77% success rate.
That's not bad.
For a dog, pretty good. For a dog with no, international soccer background, pretty good.
Yeah.
As opposed to the dogs that do.
You know that have international
Was there an Airbud movie that I missed?
That was the point. Michael Jeopardy Leslie, come on.
She's really trying to hammer that
They
nickname home.
really are just driving this Airbud franchise into the ground.
Oh, it's crazy. Aren't there like 15 Airbud films?
Have you seen the Airbud films?
Why are we
Michelle?
talking about movies again? Oh, I couldn't even go 5 minutes. Mike?
Eddie, hang on.
I saw maybe 2 of the Airbuds. I think it's about as deep as
I remember being in theaters for
I
the
saw the
first
game
one.
yesterday where
were in
England had the
theaters,
lead
okay.
until there were 5 minutes remaining in regulation.
Oh, we're
and
talking
then,
soccer? Okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe. And then Messi did what Messi does. And
He's
honestly, the second pass,
I know.
that is what makes him better than everyone else. That pass. Why is our soccer expert laughing?
If you're listening off to the side, that's PLG chuckling from the
just
corner like an
chuckling,
ominous
yeah.
villain.
Dude, he'd be. Tell me anybody else who and PLG pointed this out as it was happening. That's not his
This is
strong
off
foot.
foot.
Exactly, it's off foot, yeah.
Passes 7 defenders and the keeper. This ball is perfectly placed for the one blue jersey that's in the 6-yard box, and he heads it home. Like all he had to do was basically exist and jump. That was all Messi. I just couldn't.
But that
Just exist and but you're right. That was it.
It is spectacular, and I'm not trying to take away from that moment. I'm just looking at it from England's perspective.
Yeah.
You know that's coming.
Right. Someone should defend him.
It's not even the defending part, because like you know he's going to get his at some point, right? Like if you shut out Argentina, it's spectacular. Like let's just be totally honest, just because of what Messi represents and what he's capable of. You cannot exist with a 1-goal lead in that scenario. Like, I understand this mentality of, like, let's get to PKs and try and find out. But that's if you're a bad team trying to punch up. These are equal teams based off of how they played
Yeah.
for the majority of the game yesterday. And England was the better team, and
right.
especially in the first half. Like, keep that energy. You need a lead. And I understand the whole 2-0 is the worst lead to have, all that kind of stuff. I'd have rather been up 2-0
Heck yeah.
than see what happened yesterday come back and add another chapter to now going to be 64-year-long drought.
It's going to get lost in the shuffle of everything because the game ended the way that it did. England's goal was beautiful.
Oh, it was great. Yes.
That was a terrific run, and Kane set it up with the long ball. That was a really impressive and well put together sequence to lead to that goal, and backs up kind of what you're saying relative to they had the better of play for 65 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
And then it just all fell apart because they just kind of sat there, and I mean the ball was in there in that forward third of the field for Argentina for a half an hour.
Yes.
Just chance after chance after chance after chance after chance being orchestrated by the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
You're going to break through at some point.
Or
now, twice in 6 minutes is...
It's a lot, but it's also England. It's kind of like, you're waiting for it to happen, and they did it to themselves. I think that's the frustrating part. Because, again, what you were talking about earlier, don't poke the bear. Call up VO2 here for me, Kelly.
So good.
This was the face that Messi made after getting taunted by Jude Bellingham and taunted. We don't know the specifics of the conversation. You know, we're inferring a lot, but Messi was very much like okay, sure.
Notice the time right there in the upper left-hand corner. That's pretty early on in the game to be.
This is the face of a parent who has told their toddler not to do something, and then they do it, and you're like, well, but this is what you get.
We can't show you the video because of FIFA's draconian rules, but the clip in its entirety, and I'm sure by now, if you're watching this show, you've seen this clip. The look is only part of it. At least for me, there was one angle where you are kind of looking through the left shoulder of Bellingham, and you see Messi clock whatever it was that Bellingham said, and his shoulders, like whatever, because they were chattering with each other, and Messi just shuts up and just like, oh, okay, you said that?
Yeah.
And then you get this look of like, all right.
We don't have context for what was said.
Bro.
We don't. Like, it could be anything, because that match was feisty from the jump. Like, that was one of the more physical we've seen.
And there's so much history between these two teams, especially from a World Cup perspective, and even beyond that.
It was the
you would
Falklands
expect
War on the pitch.
literally.
Which again, listen, that's its own ball of wax.
Yeah.
FIFA's had so many weird rules about what you can and can't do on the pitch and say politically, and they're just going to whip this out and not get any repercussions for it at the end. Totally different tangent. Continue. Go ahead.
I mean,
it's part of it. Yeah,
100%. It's part of it. It's one of the headlines coming out of the match. But I think just with all of that as the context and the background, for England to play as well as they did for as long as they did, and then it almost felt like, and I say this as a Texas football fan, you're always anticipating the other shoe to drop. Like you're anticipating. Even though you have a lead. Like, I remember being at Red River the year that Kyler Murray went off, and we were up by like 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And I still was like, nope, still can't breathe. And why couldn't I breathe? Because OU came back to tie it up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So, it felt like the English fans.
Kyler at OU was something else, man.
I don't know why I voluntarily brought that up, because I don't want to talk about it at all.
If it's the first thing that comes to mind, like there are a number of rationales. Like it's like when the Falcons are up big on the Patriots, you're going like, oh, they're running the building out, and like the one guy in the back's going, hey, by the way, that's Tom Brady on the other sideline.
Yeah,
you know
or the New York.
And the Knicks are the other one. When you see the body of work that the Knicks put together, it's like it's coming. Yes. You don't know when, but it's going to.
They're down by 36 points with 4 minutes to go, and they can still find a way. That was an exaggeration, but it did feel like that watching England yesterday. And I'm not sure when in the broadcast they panned over to David Beckham's face, but it was at some point after they had either equalized or taken the lead late. And the look of just like pain on his face, I feel like that embodied the entire, not just fan base in the stadium and watching worldwide, but like the fan base of the last 60 years.
Yeah. Did you see that Posh Spice apparently got the message and celebrated England's goal?
She was very awkward about it, but she was kind of like, let me.
All right, fine. Let me get off Instagram and stop acting like I don't care about this soccer match.
Speaking of Posh Spice, it was just a week and a half ago that it's the 30-year anniversary of the release of Wannabe.
That's crazy.
I don't need that.
Spice Girls makes me think of 5th grade.
Right, but just to put that in perspective, like when I was growing up, for instance, that would be 60s music. If it's 30 years ago.
Spice Girls makes me think of 5th grade. Amanda Laraway and Shelley Perko were like the biggest Spice Girls fans on the planet. And that was all they talked about in Mr. Roach's 5th grade class. That is what I remember when I think of Spice
Girls radio saved on my Spotify, unapologetically. It is what I put on when I'm cleaning the house.
Kids growing up today will think of Wannabe in the same way that I thought of Louie growing up. That's the only thing I'll say on that.
Michelle was 2.
Feel so old right now.
Michelle was 2.
Not even. You do know the song "Wannabe," right?
I'm trying so hard to play it in my head, and I can't quite get there. But I'll listen to the melody during the break, and I'll know what we're talking about. Unless y'all want to sing it for me.
No.
Kelly, Pretend like you're cleaning. What's the wannabe?
If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
Okay.
Make
All
it
right.
last
She got there.
forever.
Okay. Good.
Friendship
It never ends. Do you want to be?
If you
Thank
want-
God we're not on YouTube. We'll get copyright claim for that.